Hello friends, the day was 13 January 2012 and the time was 7:15 p.m. The world's largest Italian cruise ship set sail for its 7-day European tour. The ship, named the Costa Concordia, it was so large it was not only bigger than the Titanic but could also seat an additional 2,000 passengers. That's why nearly 4,252 people were on board that time. If we talk about entertainment, the ship had everything. There were 4 big swimming pools, 5 restaurants, 13 different bars, a casino, a basketball court and a fitness center, which had a gym, a sauna, a Turkish bath. Even an F1 racing simulator was also installed on this cruise ship. The first destination of the ship was Savona, a city in Italy. It was supposed to take about a day to reach there, but only 2.5 hours after the ship departed, everyone heard a sudden noise. After that, all the lights on the ship just went off, and the ship started tilting towards one side. At that moment, the time was 9:45 p.m., a time when some people were sleeping in their rooms and some people were eating at the dinner tables. Some people who were sleeping just woke up and came out of their cabins to see what's happening. Meanwhile, the plates of the people sitting at the dining table start sliding down towards the other side of the table. Passengers were told via intercom that there was electric failure on the ship, but the fact was the engine of the ship had failed. The captain of the ship was hiding this fact from the people. After a while, the ship started tilting on the right side, but then the passengers somehow realized that this was not an ordinary electrical failure. People were worried that this is going to be another incident like Titanic's. But guess what? Coincidentally, the Titanic accident happened exactly 100 years ago in 1912. And now when the ship had an electric failure, the famous Titanic theme song My Heart Will Go On was playing in the dining hall of the ship. Slowly, the ship started tilting more. It tilted to the right side and the lower rooms were being filled with water. By then, the people had realized the ship was going to sink. But why were the people not informed properly? Why the ship's captain was so quiet? The ship was operated by an Italian company called Costa Crociere. Initially, this company only operated cargo ships, but in 1948 they launched their Costa lines. Soon after, it becomes one of the largest ship companies in whole Europe. Later in 2000, a company named Carnival Corporation bought it. So after that, Costa Crociere became a subsidiary company of Carnival. In June 2006, they launched their first ship of the Concordia class, the Costa Concordia that we are talking about today, the biggest Italian cruise ship of its time. The cost of making it was around 570 million at that time. That day, the captain of the ship was Francesco Schettino, an Italian man who had been working for this company since 2002. Remember this name because he plays an important role in our story. At 7:18 p.m., the ship left for its first destination, Savona, and only after 2 hours had passed, the ship has deviated from its normal route. It was not a mistake. Captain Schettino wanted to take the ship by a particular island, the Giglio Island in Italy. He wanted the people of the island to see the glittering ship in the dark of night. Whenever a ship passes near a land, it is called a sail past or a sail by. Normally, such a big ship sail at a distance of 7 to 8 kilometers from the shore, well into the sea. The water needs to be depth enough for such a big ship to sail. But because of this sail by, the ship was only 150 meters out from the shore. Obviously, the water was not very deep. There can be big rocks or reefs under the ships at a very close distance, which can hit the ship very hard. On top of that, it was night time and the ship was sailing quite fast. Later, the report of Italian Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport confirmed this. At night, the ship was sailing at an unsafe distance, very close to the shore. One question that will arise from here, why the captain was doing this? So the thing is, Captain Schettino used to work under senior Captain Mario Palombo, and Mario was living on the Giglio Island. The night the ship was passing by this island, that night Captain Schettino called Mario and told him that since they would be passing by the island, they would sound a siren for him as they wanted to give him a tribute. To this, Mario said he was not on the island, instead he was in another city in Italy. During this conversation, the call line gets disconnected. This call was made at nearly 9:40 p.m. and a few minutes later came the scary sound that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. The thing everyone feared just happened. The ship collided with the rocks in the water. The ship's sensitive part was injured by 7-meter long wounds, and the place where the impact happened was not even 100 meters away from the island. In the darkness of the night, the ship had reached so close to the island, water started flowing into the ship rapidly. 26-year-old Andrea Carlo, who was the third officer of the Concordia ship, was sleeping in his cabin when this incident happened. When he woke up from the sleep and came out of his cabin, he saw the water had already reached the hollow. He immediately ran to the engine room. When he reached there, he saw the door couldn't be opened. Through the closed door, he could see the generators and engines were completely submerged in water. At night 52, the chief engineers and the other officers of the engine room tried to start the emergency diesel generator. Unfortunately, they failed in this attempt. The chief engineer went to inform Captain Schettino how bad the situation was, but the captain of the ship announced to the passengers that there was nothing to worry about, that it was just a simple blackout.
A nome del nostro comandante, le chiediamo gentilmente di tornare alla vostra cabina o se desiderate essere in giro con il salone. Una volta che noi abbiamo finito di sistemare il problema che abbiamo, il problema elettrico del generatore, tutto sarà calma.
Over the next few minutes, the ship was not standing still, rather it was moving forward away from the island at around 9:10 p.m. Captain Schettino felt that the ship should be turned around. He reasoned that if they sunk, it would be more dangerous to be in the middle of the sea. It would be better to stay near the island. The ship took a U-turn and thus, instead of being upright, it started tilting on the other side. First, the ship was tilting to the left, now it started tilting to the right. The ship's crisis coordinator Robert Farini called Captain Schettino twice at 10:05 p.m. and 10:07 p.m. In the second call, Captain Schettino finally acknowledged the ship had some problems, but if he would admitted this problem sooner, it would have been better. Turning away from the truth can be very dangerous, as you will see later in the video, and this applies to our lives also. If you really want to know what happened next, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and give a like to this video. In the following next week, I will upload the final part of the story. Until then, goodbye.